No, they did not shoot my brother. What really happened is that they torture him to death.
From attacks on educational institutions to attacks on national infrastructure and then dislodging locals from their villages, the pattern and operations of bandits in northern Nigeria gets sophisticated and brutal by the day. There's now a nexus between banditry and terrorism.
We also observed in 2021 that there's a growing interaction between bandits and terrorist groups like Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Ansaru.
More often than not, citizens are forced to pay ransom to secure the release of abducted loved ones. Others have to pay taxes before they can freely go to the farm.
If you look at all the 11 political wards, there is no ward in Birnungwara local government that the farmers are not paying this kind of levy. So according to the estimate, last year alone, over 300 million was collected by this bandit in the form of levy to the farmers. There's 3 stages of levy, apart from kidnapping of people and collecting ransom.
For some time now, the economy of banditry has been growing. These non-state actors keep widening their sources of revenue. They get money through ransoms for kidnapped hostages, sales of rustled cattle, arms trade, leasing of weapons to other criminal groups, protection levies imposed on farming communities and individuals, levies imposed on groups engaging in mining in some areas.
There's another scary dimension to it. I am here with Kefas Ibrahim. His late brother, Obadiah Ibrahim, was kidnapped in early October in Sabungaya community in Kaduna State. The bandits are now demanding 10 million naira before they would release the corpse of the deceased.
They demanded for 200 million naira so that they will be released. So from there now they started bargaining on what to pay. We end up telling them is we have only 3,120,000. So was it on 20th of last month? They now said we should bring the money to them. The next day, that was 21st, we now went to deliver the money to go to Rido here. So from there they will direct us on what to do. When we get there, we now engage somebody that will take the money to them, which he did, and one bike man that took him to the place. So they went and gave them the 3,120,000 and recharge card, Glow and Etisalat, 25,000. So they loaded it to confirm. They load part of it. They would pick maybe 3 or 4, load it, go to this side and pick, so that they will confirm if it is okay. So they now confirm, and they also count the money. They confirm that it's okay. They now said okay, they should go. The next day they will release my brother. That is on Thursday. That Thursday is the day that they told us that our brother is normal. So we are thinking that it's a joke. Later in the night, they now confirm that they are not joking with us, that our brother is normal. So we now ask them, how can we get the corpse? They say okay, that if we want the corpse, they will not work in vain, that we should bring 10 million. They will tie him into 3 sack and bring him to where they abduct him.
These non-state actors use proceeds of crime to purchase more arms and ammunition, food, logistics, medical aid, psychotropic substances, payments of informants and accomplices, establishments of apparently legitimate businesses managed by informants and associates within communities, maintainers of marabouts who provide spiritual support for successes in operations.
Whenever a ransom is paid, it is divided into 3. One portion goes to their syndicate managers who are living right amongst us. The second part is used for maintenance, servicing of firearms, purchase of granules, because that is the term they use when they are referring to bullets. They don't call it bullet, they say granite. In Hausa they call it geda. By the time they tell you we've paid 10 million for groundnut to be supplied, it's not the groundnut you munch, is bullets they are referring to. They refer to bullets as geda. They pay as much as 10 million for bullets to be supplied to them. In fact, maybe in the course of time, I may give you the number of a retired general whom they paid 10 million to supply them bullets. And this, they told me in confidence. We tracked the number, were able to locate his place and so on, but little or nothing was done. We were also able to track and identify a serving sergeant who was supplied them military uniform. What kind of a country are we living in?
According to those who are familiar with rural banditry and terrorism, they say it's a product of poor criminal justice system, ethnic profiling and criminality propelled by poverty. And this is having an impact on the Nigerian economy as it has limited business and investment in the heaviest hit areas. With the ongoing military clearance operations in the northeast and northwest regions, many are hoping such operations would be sustained to eliminate bandits and terrorists. But what about the burgeoning economy of banditry? Can such operations cause it to shrink?
With very good coordination, we can end it in 30 days. And again, let me say this, the 19 people they put, one, let me just take Gwaska. Gwaska by origin is from Niger, okay? But he found solace in Nigeria, doing all the havoc he can and so on. He has under him 1,730 armed carrying bandits. So if you just kill him alone, what happens to the others? All those that he has left behind. So this is why I think what we need to do is to try to engage them, create an avenue to negotiate with them. By the time we start negotiating, is to push them towards agreeing to surrender their arms to government. By the time we're able to disarm them, then try to educate them, because it is very easy to educate the uneducated than to try to educate the miseducated.
Data from SBM Intelligence indicates that between July 2021 and June 2022, billions of naira were demanded by kidnappers in exchange for the release of captives, while about 653.7 million naira was paid as ransom. But these figures keep growing.
Between March 2022 to July 28, 2022, the sum of 575 million was paid by various families in Kaduna State alone. This is not to talk of the said 800 million that was said to have been paid for only 7 members of the Kaduna Abuja bound train. For goodness sake, do you have banks operating in the bush? The answer is no, there are no banks in the bush. Where then is this money taken to?
Security experts say to crack down the supply chain of banditry, there's a need to know how to get their arms, who supplies them with bullets and military uniforms, track the movements of ransom paid, and prosecute those found culpable. They say many are making a fortune from banditry.
Like Halilu Sububu, I've been there with him for 1 week in Sububu forest. He's one of the wealthiest of the bandits. Halilu Sububu is one of the wealthiest. In fact, he offered that if I can give 10 million, he will return to me a gun truck which he bought from Niger Republic at 15 million naira. A new gun truck. So you see, we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder.
Nisi Gabriel, Arise News.